Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on.
My name is Amanda Joan Quimper. I've had prophetic dreams, angelic encounters, revelations, and a vision from God to bring awareness to modern moral issues. I want to share my creative arts, poetry, experiences, and stories with you. God is abundantly above and beyond what we could have asked or even imagined. And the most important truth that exists is love.
We're good. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I got my good friend Amanda Joan of Heart with me here today, and her friend's also with us, Janelle, and they're going to get into their experiences, and I'll even get into my experience inside the opiate epidemic. You know, I've been pretty open about it. I've had, issues with addiction, and it's going to be a really good show. So with all that said, I'd like to welcome Amanda back to the show. Amanda, thanks so much for coming back on. How's it going?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this with me today. We've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good show. And then we're gonna get like the audience involved too. Like, you guys can share your story. Well, I don't know what we'll do yet. We'll bring people on, or we'll figure some way out to get people involved. And you guys can share your story about, if you've had issues with opiates and your whole, and how this has honestly been done to us is like it's like a psyop, Yeah, absolutely. It's a psyop. Yeah. But so where did this all start with you, Amanda?
My story, a lot of it is on my website. I have a documentary called Amanda Joan of Heart, and I go deep into what happened in my addiction to drugs and stuff. I really don't want to go that deep today. I've told those stories many times. I could tell a few that I might not have on there, but I just trying to keep it light today, and not so dark, I guess, because I'm trying to raise the vibration of the planet now. But yeah, I started documenting. I had a vision from God to help traffic victims many years ago, and it was after I had got off of opiates. I was doing opiates, Oxycontin at the time, and my third time getting off of opiates, I was shown a full-out vision from God of my purpose to do a television show helping women transition out of sex trafficking. And so that inspired all of the work I've done, all on my website at awakenandunite.com, TV with Purpose. I started documenting the heroin epidemic because it went hand in hand with sex trafficking. So that was my first documentary I ever made, and it was massive. It took me 3 years of filming, and it took me almost 2 years to edit it. It was this was the last documentary that I finished last because it took me a lot of time. I did over 50 events on the heroin and opiate epidemic. I filmed all over, the country, marches, rallies, just trying to get answers, solutions. And I made this massive 37-part documentary. My goal is to try to get it into jails and rehabs nationwide one day. It is in the hands of some very big networks right now, and they are supposedly looking at it. So I'm trying to get that off the ground. I'm looking to seek distribution for that. If anybody has any recommendations or connections, I would greatly appreciate it. Please reach out to me at awakeningunite.com to try to get this out there so it can help start saving lives, you know. And so just shares many different addicts, recovering addicts to, you know, mothers and grandmothers and grandfathers and sisters and brothers that have lost their loved ones, and you know, their perspectives on it, and just how they got, you know, a lot of the addicts, how they got sober. So just trying to use it as a tool. We need more resources for this. We need more outlets for this. I think, you know, right now we have, you know, in most states across the country, we have church and we have, you know, AA or the steps that we use to help us. But I think there needs to be more resources, more outlets to help these people as well. There is no cookie cutter way, in my opinion. You know, there's many ways to, you know, get better, and, you know, each person's journey is going to be different, and we don't want to be judging other people's walks in life on this, you know. We want to be supportive and shatter the stigma. There's a lot of stigma with this, you know, epidemic that we've had for years on end, which is now I'm hearing coming to hopefully a halt. But I guess from like the borders being closed and stuff like that, there's statistics now that it has really took a dive. So that's good. Lives are being saved right now. And I pray that keeps continuing to happen, that we keep moving forward and helping people out of these trenches, because it's really hard. It's like digging a hole and you can't get out. It's a rough place to be, you know. It's not easy. And you know, these people just want to feel better. You know, everybody wants to feel better, and a lot of us are out of alignment with the food we're eating and not taking care of ourselves, not getting outside in nature, not you know, connecting with each other. And we just, you know, we try to numb our feelings with these things, and you know, it's not a real solution. The real solution is, you know, awakening, getting to know who you are, your mission, your purpose, why you're here, and walking that out. You know, some of it's overwhelming. Some of us have some really big purposes, and that, you know, the enemy, or whatever you want to call that, those other dark forces don't want you living out your purpose. So they're going to try to slow you down. But, you know, there is ways out of this, and just keep looking and finding your way out of it if you're struggling in addiction right now, and keep one day at a time. You know, it is one day at a time. You got to get through that day without it. It's not easy, but you know, it will get better and better and better and better, and then you're going to create amazing timelines of amazing new things. And yeah, good place to
I just
be.
wanted to say shout out to Lady Wolf in the YouTube chat. She says, great job, much appreciated. It's been terrible. Fentanyl is a nightmare. That's what killed those that I knew. Yeah, that's the big problem here. It seems to be like universal that fentanyl is the major, you know, killer of all this. You know, first it was heroin, then it was fentanyl. You know what I mean? And like, you know, a lot of people say that was from the Iraq war, you know, that like we went over there to control the opiate poppy fields and stuff like that. And then when we lost those poppy fields, that's when fentanyl came in big, you know. But like, if you know, like, I mean, I don't know if that's what it is, but I just know it's like it's a major killer for sure, you know. And it definitely needs, you know, we definitely need to, you know, get a grip on what's going on. You know, it's literally life or death, you know. And it's crazy when, you know, like when you know people who are addicted to this stuff, like majorly, you know, they don't care. Like they don't think about, like, you know, their life being on the line. They'll just do the fentanyl because it's a fix. You know what I mean? That's the sad part, you know, like that, like people are willing to literally risk their lives to not be sick, you know. And that's what it is most times. It's not even to get high. It's just to not be sick, right?
Yeah. Playing Russian roulette, though, you know, it's carfentanil now, which is a thousand times harder than fentanyl. And even fentanyl in this, you know, even heroin, you know, it was like they took it, this is all done by design, in my opinion. What I experienced, you know, everybody was snorting the Oxycontins and stuff, and that was a cool thing to do or whatever at the time. It was like I had moved away, moved home, and all my friends, like over the 2 years I was gone, were totally screwed up on this stuff. And then they took those pills and then they made them unsnortable to where they would gel up in your nose and you wouldn't be able to snort them. And so that's when everybody shifted over and started shooting up because they wanted to be able to get their high the same way. So they started shooting up, and then people just started dropping dead from the heroin, and then they made, you know, then fentanyl came out, and fentanyl is 100 times harder than heroin. So then people started, you know, dropping dead from there. I lost one of my best girlfriends, Jenny. She passed away from fentanyl, unfortunately. And, you know, it was sad. She couldn't even be touched at the morgue because you would die if you touched her.
What? For real?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Oh my God. Like, that's horrible.
Yeah. So be careful if you see someone overdose. Don't be touching them, I guess, you know. I didn't know that.
Why is that? Because they have so much of it in their body or whatever that it would like
probably carfentanil or something like that, and they sweat it out, and if you touch their face or something, yeah.
Wow, that is scary. That is absolutely terrifying, you know. But does your friend want to tell her story? Does she want to come on and tell her?
She's not ready yet. We'll have her talk at the end. So yeah, but we can go into, I can share my trailer from my documentary. I do have a trailer for this massive Inside the Opiate Epidemic documentary. This is I made this trailer about a third of the way in filming. In the 3 years I filmed this mass documentary. So it's just about a 3-minute trailer I can play. And yeah, I can go into maybe a couple stories that I haven't told really yet on podcasts and whatnot. And then I would love it if some other people want to come on and share how they got sober or what they did or whatnot, or any stories from their addiction, you know. They are welcome to come on, and you got the link. We're going to put it in the chat or something.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Let's see. Let me do. So I'll play this video. Hold on.
No, let me put the link in the chat now. Or wait, you have the link because you have control of the StreamYard, so you have to put the link in the chat. Like, I don't have the link to invite people.
Oh, I just got it. Okay.
I mean, it's a little bit iffy putting the StreamYard link out there to the public, but I trust everybody's going to be cool and not like, you know, want to prank. Yeah. You're going to have to let them in too, you know?
Okay. All right. And then I'm going to do share. Okay, window. Put this one. All right. Okay, let's see.
when it's never quit. Yeah.
Hey, city workers.
Terrorists were going through this country.
I'm saving you, just know you're saving me too. This ain't for the radio, this ain't for the club, this is for you. You showing love, this ain't for the labels, this ain't for the price, this is for the fight. They never giving up your life, and you can't keep me down, no matter what they say. Tomorrow gonna be better, just don't give up today. So it's up to you, is you gon' sink or you gon' swim, cause
I was dead on arrival from a heroin overdose on the day of my 17th birthday.
I'm Tim Ryan, grateful recovering alcoholic and drug addict, and I am a recovering heroin addict.
My name's Leisha Kataya, aka Mama Dukes.
At the end of the Hope Over Heroin, it's an emotional response. We invite people to give their hearts to Jesus.
A mom's worst nightmare is that phone call, which I hoped would never come, but it did.
As I performed that 2.5-minute song, there was a mother out there that buried her son, and there was a mother out there that buried her daughter.
Whether I talk behind the podium or speak behind the mic, there's purpose in my rap, gave me meaning to my life, and I'm as honest as I am because there's freedom when I write.
Stupid, plain as heat, not a thing in this game, and it's left for me. I'm feeling this love surround you, sincerely signing off to formally feed it up brand. Go mess up someone else's life tonight for me it ends. Peace.
The pharmaceutical industry knew exactly what they were doing, and they created this pandemic. This is pharma-driven.
Systems are designed to create havoc and destruction. They're not designed to create health and healing. So we have a problem, America.
This isn't just an I thing. This is a we thing.
When it's never quit. Yeah.
Yeah. My mic on? That was great. Wow. That was really powerful.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of work. That was a big thing I took on. I don't even know. Crazy. Yeah. But, yeah. So some other stories I thought about telling. I know this insanity of addiction, it's crazy, the things that will just bring you right back there. I remember I woke up on Easter Sunday, basically retarded. My whole neurological system quit working. I had been messing around with drugs for a couple of days straight at the time, and my neurological system just quit working, and my jaw was going sideways. My face was I started grinding my teeth. I couldn't control it. It was I had to call my family and on Easter Sunday, and they had to look at me all messed up. They're like, "What did you do?" I looked like I was handicapped, I guess. My still there, but I couldn't control anything.
I can kind of tell what happened to me too, and I don't think I've ever told it completely, and I don't even think I ever told you this, but I mean, this is kind of hard for me to live with because I still feel kind of shitty about it, but what happened was, is, can you hear me now?
Hold on. Yeah, I can hear you now.
So what happened was I was really bad from 2009 to 2012. Those are like my like worst years of addiction, you know? And I always tell people like I was like a complete different person. I was like, I wasn't just involved on the using side of it, but I was actively like, you know, selling drugs too. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't like to admit that, but I was. And like, I started feeling horrible about like, you know, providing it for my friends. It wasn't like, it was like the OCs and all the Oxycontins and all that, you know what I mean? Like, you know, cause I had connections for it. And like, it was absolutely like, it made me feel horrible for years on like later. It made me live with a lot of guilt. And then it was basically like feeding my addiction. You know what I mean? Like, cause I was like a full blown addict. You know what I mean? I was doing Oxycontin and cocaine and like, you know, so like the any kind of revenue that I was generating was like just going purely towards like feeding my addiction and like my lifestyle. You know what I mean? And I had felt jaded because I got let go of a job. I was a mortgage broker for 10 years and I lost my job when the recession hit in 2008, you know, and like, it was just a lot to live with. It was horrible to like, you know, and then I came out of it in 2015, you know, and it's just hard to live with, you know, that like I made those kind of decisions. It made me feel like a real, like, you know, like I still feel horrible about it, you know, because I know a lot of people don't know this. I had an ex-girlfriend die of an overdose, but it wasn't anything that I did. Like it was like we weren't even together at the time, and she was like went somewhere else, and she was using drugs, and she had like an aneurysm in her brain, you know, and yeah. So like, but when you lose someone that's like really close to you like that, like a best friend, you know, it's like it's horrible to like think about this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't even like to think about it. I like to like put it past me and like try to say that like time heals all wounds. But it definitely is like it definitely leaves a scar, you know. It left a scar on my life for sure, you know, because it messed up a lot of things for and like for anybody younger that's seeing this, like, you know, these things will destroy your life because they left a big impact on my whole 30s. My whole 30 my whole life of my 30s was like messed up because of the choices I made, you know. And it's you know, I just feel like I'm just starting to, I mean, like I've been years off, you know, hard drugs, you know, I've been like, you know, since 2015, I haven't done any hard drugs. And like, you know, like, and like, I just, you know, like, I just, yeah, like
that's where it takes you, you know what I mean? You say you wouldn't do stuff like that, but once you're in it, you do people do all kinds of things that they regret. It makes them feel even worse, and then it keeps them out in addiction. The of it keeps you sick. Like when I was in Easter Sunday, I felt horrible. I'm in the hospital for 3 days, and then after the 3 days, when they figured it out, I had an allergic reaction to one of the pills I took or something, which made me like that. And I felt so embarrassed that I literally left the hospital and went straight to the drug dealer's house. You know what I mean? It's just it's really sad how guilt will seek more punishment, and you just keep punishing yourself more because you're guilty. And the real answer is moving forward fearlessly and walking in faith and knowing that, you know, God got this, but you got to trust, and you got to make that decision, and your decisions determine your destiny, you know?
Yeah.
And you can create amazing new timelines of not lower timelines. You know, we're creating all the time, but do we want to create higher timelines or lower timelines? But a lot of us, when we throw ourselves into addiction, we're throwing ourselves up against a brick wall, and it's to awaken. We might not consciously know that, but unconsciously, that's what we're doing, is we're trying to wake ourselves up. And you don't need to do drugs to try to wake yourself up. It's really just going to dumb you down. You want to do real things that really help you awaken, like get in nature and, you know, eat healthy and drink real fluoride-free water and open up your pineal gland, not dumb yourself down and put holes in your brain, you know. that's
Yeah. You know what? Someone said to me one time. They said that like star seeds are natural, like have a high affinity for addiction, like because like I guess they say we wherever we come from, it's like a higher plane of existence. I don't know if I totally buy into this, but like so we're used to feeling good, so we want that feeling here on Earth. And someone told me that. I don't know. It could be, there could be something, Here's Uncle Remus. He says, I have to watch my mom go through the opioid addiction every day since 1982. Been on them for almost 49 years. It's sad. I'm sorry for that, man. And then NCODEDBTM says, it's a bad choice feedback loop. And he says, Amy says, glad you're talking about this. Been there. So, yeah, like, I think, yeah. Like, I don't know.
It's another thing that was really kind of weird. I remember I had a family member. I haven't really told this story. I told it on Journey to Truth the other day. But I forgot about it. But I had a family member that I was letting stay at my house because once I got sober, I wanted to help other people get sober. So I would try to help, different friends get better. And, I had a family member staying with me. It was their third time out of rehab. And I was laying on my couch because I wanted to be there when they came back in the door because I was worried about them. And when I was laying on my couch and my whole body started elevating to the ceiling. And I was like I could open up my eyes and my hands were like on my chest or whatever, like in, like this.
You were levitating?
I did it 3 times. I kept going up to the ceiling. And when I get to the ceiling, I'm thinking, am I dying? What's going on? Why am I levitating to the ceiling? And I could, I was looking at the ceiling. I was touching the ceiling. I could move my hands, but the rest of my body was like in sleep paralysis or whatever. And it did that 3 times. And then the third time when I came back down, I like finally broke out of it and got up and was like, what the heck? I stood on my couch and I felt my ceiling and I was like, yep, that's exactly what I was just feeling. And I'm like, what's up there? And so I went upstairs to the bedroom that was like up there, above that ceiling where I was rubbing. And my friend who I was trying to help, family member, was up there messed up on drugs, like really bad. And, just like hiding in the room up there. So I was like, that is crazy. So like God or whatever was showing me that they were up there or whatnot. That was nuts. So yeah.
And if you guys want to tell your story, if you want to come on and tell your story, you can, like Amanda has the link. She'll put it in the,
I put it in the chat up there, but I can put it in again.
Yeah. Put it in. I'd like to see have people come on and tell their story. Like I'd love to hear. You guys share with us. That'd be great. I was gonna do live calls, but I was saying maybe it's better just to do it this way. I don't know. Like.
Yeah, might as well. Sure.
Okay. Bring people in. Oh, I just lost my light. Where'd my light go? Oh no.
No.
Wait a minute. I gotta find my light. Where's the? Oh, I found it. I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Once I found out, once I got off for the 3rd time, and I talk about how I was miraculously healed in my documentary on Amanda Joan of Hart, the documentary on my website, awakeningunite.com. I talk about the Raphael story. I was healed by Raphael on the 3rd day. I prayed to Jesus for the first 3 days of recovering to be healed on the 3rd day. I was miraculously healed. I tell that whole story on there, which is pretty cool. But then, so I struggled. I, relapsed a few more times after that. The 3rd time I got off of it. I was asking God what my purpose was. I was like 6 months off of drugs and was shown a full out vision from God of a clip of the future to do a television show helping women transition out of sex trafficking. So that made me never look back. I stayed off of drugs, never touch them again like that. For hard drugs like that, for sure. And never looked back. Started documenting all these movements in history. Made this my new drug, is doing purposeful stuff, you know. And it's so much better this way. Trust me. I'm not on the brink of death. I don't have to look for a drug every morning, like to survive, to live, because you can't live without these drugs. You're like bedridden.
What was your drug of choice? What was your?
Well, I was only ever like addicted to OxyContin.
That's how I was too. That's what mine was. Mine was OxyContin and cocaine. You know what I mean? I used both. Like, and I would use them together. Like I would, I was so bad that I would just, and I'd go on like multiple day benders. You know what I mean? I'd be out for like 3, 4, 5 days at a time. You know what I mean? Like, and then I would crash hard when I was like, oh, but that was the problem is like I was hardly ever running out. So like I was just like a continuous running like drug machine. You know what I mean? I don't know how my body didn't like just end up like I don't know how I'm alive is what I'm saying, or in jail.
Exactly.
I always told people the way I was going was like I was heading for death or jail, and there was no other option.
That's where it takes. It's where it takes you. You say that won't take you there, you're crazy, because that's where it takes you. Yeah, and I would, mix the two as well. Once in a great while. I really didn't do that all the time, but yeah, and it was those were the very scary moments, because that is a vicious cycle, and you can be on benders for days and on end, and you can start hallucinating and everything. So it's really scary. Did anybody else want to jump on, or see somebody? I think Janelle's ready to share some stuff. She wanted to.
A little bit of how.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah.
All right.
If you want to talk, it's fine. Yeah.
I don't do this ever. I don't like being the center of attention. So.
Hi, Janelle. Welcome to the show.
How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Hi, Rob.
My best friend since 8th grade. She just moved back to our state, so
a few years ago.
Yeah. So I'm glad to have her back, but she's like over here going, shoot.
Yeah, I've been through all.
She's like
buddy. Yeah.
She is really bad and
off and on forever. So I don't get on this stuff ever. I don't like being the center of attention, but I do have a few things if it helps anyone, since we're talking about drug abuse, opioids, all that. I suffered with drug abuse on and off forever. And had really bad trauma. I'm still going through that. And I told Mandy I wanted to come on because I just went through some crazy breakthrough in the past 2 weeks. So it's very fresh. I feel very calm. I just don't want to overwhelm my nervous system right now. So I won't share a lot about personal stuff, but just how I view some things with drug abuse that might help someone. I wish I had. Everyone's just looking for someone that feels how they feel and overcame it. So that's how my brain works, so they can figure it out. So I grew up as in trauma for the first 11 years of my life, serious PTSD trauma, holy crap. So then I was with a mom who was schizophrenic, basically. Then I moved into my father's home, who is a normal life, and we go to school. I meet Mandy, and I'm going to be normal now. I have Abercrombie. I had no clue. I mean, I came from nothing. Didn't even know where your food was coming from. But I'm wearing Abercrombie and Fitch to school, so I didn't know what was going on. So I'm okay, I have this new life. I'm a teenager. I'm finding myself, but it always felt different than other people since I was young. And like I said, I'm putting all this together because I actually come from an inventing family. We invented the revolving door. So I'm like my father. He just passed away recently. Our brains like to problem solve. So a lot of stuff. I'll write a book one day. But anyway, so I'm going to junior high school, and I'm starting to have sensory issues. loud. When I'd walk down the hall at school, things were really loud. I always knew I felt music different than other people, or I felt that way. But a lot of loud sensory issues. I always kind of walked funny. Long story short, I just found out this past week that I have some Elmhounder DAWs. I don't even know how to pronounce it yet. It causes all these issues with your body, chronic pain, all this stuff, sensory issues from your vestibular or whatever you call it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Thing in your ear, which causes things to be louder in social areas. You're more sensitive. So this whole time I had this underlying like disorder. It's a mutation in my gene. I thought I'm losing my brains. And then I thought I'm turning schizophrenic like my mother. So you have this kid who has this neurological craziness, and I'm ADHD, as you probably can tell, because I'm off the medicine now. My brain goes very fast. So all this shit's happening in my brain, and I'm like, kids like me though because I'm attractive, and I notice things. I'm a deep thinker. I'm like one of those people who put all the clues together. So I'm like going through school, trying to be normal, playing basketball. No wonder I couldn't do a layup, because I guess with this disease I have, you can't put your brain to your feet. But I was a great shooter in basketball. So like I have all these cool things I can do, but something's wrong in my brain. So I'm trying to like go through life, and all I wanted to do was be calm. And my nervous system from trauma and from having a disease, or it's not a disease, a mutation or whatever, is all whacked out. And I have ADHD, and I have this genius brain I got from my dad. I'm supposed to invent something. So I have all this happening. I'm just in this little girl body trying to make it through life. I found her, thank God. But one thing I do want to say, you were talking about this like star people or whatever. You said something. I caught
star seeds.
Star seeds. Those star seeds that we come from like a higher plane of existence, and like when we come to Earth, we're not used to being like on the third dimensional plane. So
yeah, there's something on that, because my little brain's been studying now that's working, and I'm studying quantum physics and weird shit, which I should have done. I went through a lot of drug problems trying to feel normal, trying to feel calm. And I wasn't the kid that did drugs. I was the basketball player. She was my buddy. I would take classes just to hang out with them because I was the big nerd geek that's brain worked really smart. Take classes and like I just wanted to be normal with my buddies. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be the kid that was smart, but I knew my brain worked different. But with that was sensory stuff that I didn't realize was happening. So, but you're talking about another time when I whatever you were saying, you did and whatever, I think you're right on. And I don't believe anything. I thought all this stuff was crazy. Okay. I was the friend, like, what are you doing on there? What are you doing? It's so great. She's not crazy, you guys. Okay.
So now she's awakening. And
dude, I don't even know what just happened.
Like, what's going on?
I think I had a soul death. Like, I think I actually died.
She went through the dark night of the soul.
I don't know what happened.
Really bad.
But I did it by myself. I'm very proud. But, dude, I think you have to do it by yourself. That's the fucking hard part. Sorry for the F-bomb. That's the hard part. I think you have to, and you almost have to die. So anyway, like, sorry, guys, but it's awesome now on the other end. So basically, I don't want to take up everyone's time. I'll put this out one day, but I went through high school with all this neurological issues with the trauma. Okay, so trying to act normal, and I knew something's wrong. Like, so my brain, being a deep thinker, there's always a way. Okay, so that was a hard thing. I had my best friend who thought like me. He passed away 3 years ago. I had an issue with that because he got Parkinson's. Within 3 years was gone, and this was someone who thought, the only person who thought like me, I thought, and felt like me. So like my one constant in my life was gone. So then I'm like, oh God, I'm all alone now, you know? So, but you really have, like, I don't know, I just trailed off of that one. But my brain trails off. It's still coming back to normal. I just stopped Lexapro that I was on for 20 years. So fast forward after high school, I'll slow it up because it's going to be a lot. Got on Lexapro at 20. I'm holding down normal jobs. I want to go to school. I wasn't going to get them. I did dance. People are going to find this out. Oh God. So I didn't want to do anything like that. I was smart. I was supposed to go to college. So I go to, I'm working this job. I'm trying to work it, and I'm going in. Everything's loud all the time. My brain's on fire. I don't know how to like focus. So I quit, or I got fired, or something happened, and then I felt worse about myself. So what I want to say in all of that, I got on Lexapro at 20 because I was like, what is everything getting loud all the time? And they're like, it's anxiety. So they put me on anxiety medicine. I was on this till last week for the past however many years because I thought that's what I needed. You know, it did help. It calmed down the nervous system where I could function, but it took away all my talents and all my skills and everything. So that's a healing thing for me I'm going through. So what I'm getting at with all that is I think there's a lot of people that, like, I had a traumatic childhood, but the person in me that wanted to fight for life, like, was ready to go to college. I even paid for my first 2 years of college myself, living in my little apartment in Parma. Like, I knew I could change, like, do something. But because of the neurological issues I have that I didn't understand, thought something was wrong with me. So I was trying to do drugs because when I remember the first time I took a Percocet, I was like, I don't feel like that. Oh my gosh, it's gone. Like, so not everyone like is out there trying to like, or they're not living in poverty when they get on drugs. They're not poor. Like, I mean, I went through that, but I think some people have some like neurological problems that aren't even being diagnosed. And they are just trying to feel normal, like ADHD, all that. So it's not, so I think that's the hard part with me is I never thought it was a disease. And I don't want to be mean to anyone or like, I don't even know I don't go on addiction stuff. So I don't know like the terms. In my brain, how I think I never thought it was a disease. I thought that there's some trauma or something that's not taken care of. So what I can tell you is even through all these years, I've still done drugs off and on up until a month ago. Okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I still smoke weed. I smoke weed at night. It calms down this brain and the artistic side of me. Whew, okay.
I smoke weed too. I smoke weed too.
All right.
So
when you've been through so much trauma and lived a life like that, if I want to smoke a little weed at night, thank you. I'm gonna enjoy myself. And high sensory people, and that's where I was going with the neurological. I think there's a lot of people that are doing drugs that are highly sensitive people. They're just trying to calm that nervous system down. Like they're trying to calm it down to where they feel balanced. And it doesn't matter if it's heroin. It doesn't matter if it's freaking crack. If it's that bad to where your nervous system's on fire, your body needs to get back to normal. Like it's going to do anything it can to get itself back to where it feels calm. So we're just trying. So I think there's a lot. So basically I'll get off here, but what happened this past week that changed this, that made it happen for me. And I thought I had healed stuff. I didn't. I called my mother, who I didn't talk to, and for that. So I study a lot. I listen to everyone. I study physics. I study everything. And people like, I listen to a lot of Carl Jung, a lot of philosophers. They said that if you don't heal, addiction and anxiety is all from a trauma. If you don't heal that trauma, and people are healed, we might have multiple traumas. So I healed a few traumas, but not the original trauma. My trauma was from when I was 5 and my life got taken away. I called and I had a conversation for like 6 hours till 4:30 in the morning. Now there's a schizophrenic who I never wanted to be like her. Okay, so I talked to her until 6:30 in the morning. And the next day I woke up. Like I heard a voice in the back of my head when I got done because I was like, am I going to have to go grab the anxiety medicine again tomorrow? And I heard a voice say it's done. And not even like, and it wasn't like a schizo voice, because believe me, I'm very weird about that stuff, having a mom with them. Like it was a all-knowing voice. And I like broke down. But why I say that is like, there's a lot that can be done to heal these people, and you're not doomed. Like you were never going to tell me I had a disease that I didn't think I had. Like, so I think there's like, I feel like I know I'm on fire and I talk a lot right now. That's because I feel like myself, and I feel like I haven't spoken 20 something years, but you just got to believe, like you have to. And what's the hard part is like, no one could have done that for me. Like I had to go through, like, and there's a story beyond that. That's like, dude, she knows my life. Like, it's amazing though. There's beautiful parts. Because I never stopped believing that I was going to be okay. And that's my dad's side of me. So there's people that I think just have some neurological things going on that people don't know about. And they're trying to calm their brain. So I want to bring a different perspective because of the stigma. And like people see me out. I mean, I work hard. I fix my own car. Like it's crazy the shit the brain can do. But Yeah, there's hope, but you have to, you got to break down. Like you really, and well, you have to heal the trauma. So basically, once I healed that original trauma with my mom, it was crazy. I feel normal. Like, I know I'm not to always be nuts, but I can sing. Dude, I always loved singing people and been around all these guys that sang and play guitar. You know, I was the one who was supposed to be singing because you mirror things that you're supposed to be doing. So it's just when you start looking at like life as the observer, and there's so much. I just anyone that has issues with their nervous system, EDMR therapy. About 4 months ago, this started it all. I started playing EDMR beats in my house every morning, and I had noticed that when I'm a metal person, loud, crazy music was playing, my brain could focus. That's a lot of ADHD. So just, I don't think it's a disease. That's just me. I think there's a trauma that needs healed or a nervous system needs calmed down. I don't think you're stuck forever. And I think meetings and stuff help people. Everything's different. Everyone has it different. But there's a different group of, I don't want to group people, but there's a different reason people got on it that you might not even know, or people walking around like me who you would never think. So, I did Suboxone for a couple of 6 months before I got it.
There was a question in the chat, Amanda. My friend Dan's in the chat. He wanted to know, he said, what's your opinion on how to get off of Suboxone or benzos? How would you say for people?
I got off benzos. I was on Klonopin for 20 years. 20 years, 4 1 milligram tablets a day. Can you imagine that?
Holy shit.
1 milligram in Florida.
I was all day long if I was taking.
I was drinking coffee. My son was, this is what Florida was real great. That's what started my pill journey because I lived down there and I have back pain from $1,100, so they stuck me on drugs. So that's what I'm saying. People have so many things happening. Like,
it's the same, in my opinion, like trying to get off Suboxone. No. It's like the same thing, like one day at a time.
No, you didn't go off benzos. Okay, benzos.
No, I was talking about Suboxone.
Oh.
Well, he asked about he asked about Suboxone and benzos, so maybe Amanda could talk about the Suboxone.
Yeah, do the Suboxone.
You can talk about the benzos.
Yeah, Suboxone just one day at a time. I had to ask my friend to basically babysit me and just hang out with me every day when he would get off of work. I had like one friend. He's the reason why I'm sober today, because he listened to me and he came over and he was a friend to me because I told him I have no friends that weren't on drugs really to hang out with that I could look forward to hanging out with. And he basically babysat me and came over every day, so I had something to look forward to, to get through the day without using drugs. And we do normal stuff together, but for the first, 3 to, days to a week are the worst. And I just didn't do anything. I had it planned to where I'm going to get off of this. I'm going to sit home, and if I have to watch TV all day long every day or whatever, I did say, I would say, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I would say that like a million times a day. Every second I would start thinking negative thoughts or whatever. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I just kept repeating that affirmation or Bible verse. And that I think helped me. Something like that, speaking over it. Let
me ask you a question. Did you taper? Did you
making that
decision? You know how like they give you did you taper? You know how they give you strips? Like, did you take like lower pieces of the strip, take like nothing? Is that how you do it?
Oh, they didn't have the strips when I was doing that, so I would do just a teeny little bit of. They had like these little octagon looking pills.
I remember those. We call them the stop signs. We call them the stop signs.
I broke it down to like a eighth of a pill every, twice a day at the very end. I think it was like a quarter of the pill twice a day, or maybe it started with a half twice a day, and then it broke it down to a quarter, and then down to where I got to an eighth of it. And it was like, what is the point of even taking this stuff? Because I'm just doing it was like a mind, thing, I'm going to be better if I take this little bit of something, and then I weaned myself down to like barely anything. And then I said, from this day forward, tomorrow I'm going to wake up. I'm not doing it. It was my friend Brian's birthday, and he was the one that helped me get sober. And I just begged him to help me, and he was there every day after that, and ended up moving in and helping me out. And we were best friends. We, weren't intimate or anything like that, but
Where are we going with
we
this?
did everything together. We did normal stuff again.
No, I'm trying to think about the Suboxone strip.
Okay. So that's how I got off, and I did smoke weed, and I did that, and that I had joints rolled up for the occasion to be ready to stay off of it, and that's what I did. So, and then
Can I ask you another question? Did you use kratom at all?
No.
Don't do it. Don't.
I don't.
Do it. Maybe to get off.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying.
Maybe.
I never used it. I was
down.
way done before that. We've been off of that stuff for a long time.
Well, like another dangerous thing that's going on is they have like natural kratom, but now they have this like shit they're selling in gas stations called 7-OH, which is like highly dangerous. That's they're giving people Suboxone to get off 7-OH, which is like
they're creating more. It's so crazy.
Oh my gosh! So they created 7-OH. I don't even know what that is.
I haven't read this.
What 7-OH is, it's a synthetic form of kratom that they're selling in gas stations. Usually you'll find them in like a Habib gas station, the ones that the Indians own, and like they sell it like candy in there, and people are addicted to it. Like I call the Indian gas stations Habib gas stations.
I do the same thing. That's so funny. No pun. I get it. It's something I grew up with.
Yeah. From the Simpsons, remember?
One thing before I forget, because I'm ADD, it's going to trail off. The Suboxone. At one point, I've been on and off stuff so many times. So, like, she had massive stories. Mine were throughout boyfriends, people I dated, husbands, back pain, whatever. Suboxone, just a brain part of me that's just thinking facts to tell you, like, what you're saying. I do remember at one point, I don't know if I was getting off of something else, so we got Suboxone strips or what, but definitely if you have the strips and you're really serious about it, what I did was cut them down into like I think 8 pieces. This has actually worked really well.
Somebody just said that they cut.
This was a weird because I had a flashback of that drug era because there's lots of them. Cut them down to 8 pieces, and then I was cutting them down even further. And I was just taking that in the morning, and I will tell you that was probably the best way I got off of those because I didn't do anything for a while. I went on other stuff after that, probably, but as far as the withdrawal symptoms, I did use gabapentin one time. It makes me feel really weird because I have the weird nervous system. Obviously, I know why now. But that's a slippery slope too. I think anything you're using, if you're not healing the trauma while you're doing this, it's not going to work. You got to go heal what you got to do because you're going to go. I noticed this trigger last month or a couple months ago. The guy that I had been talking to again, like something happened and I hadn't touched like freaking what are they, Adderall or anything for so long or anything. And like there was a trigger, like he left and he came back later. But in that time frame, my nervous system went nuts. Well, this is the other trauma side of it. And I wanted an Adderall for some reason. Like I'm just saying like, if you don't heal the trauma, you can get off the stuff 100 times. And I don't want anyone on anything because it's bad right now. You can't do anything. You're going to die. But you got to work on that. If you're ready, you got to do it. But you got to go find that original trauma from when you were little. Whatever that was with your mom or your dad, you got to heal that. Mm-hmm. That's what we're carrying around. We're all carrying. Well, not everyone and not everyone's different. But that's a big part of it.
And people just want to feel better, whatever the reason.
Whatever
it's not going to be. It's not going to be.
And it's always not an answer. Yeah, but you have to figure out everything that goes into it. Like you can't just like. So I always thought, and like people do all this stuff for addiction, and I never thought that was the real. Like I always thought there was something more to it. I don't know why. But
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
And also Benzo. Sorry. I'm so sorry because I don't ever not want to tell someone something because I love knowledge. If you have knowledge, share it. Let's help each other. You know what I mean? The benzo thing. I was on benzos for 20 years. Klonopin today. So they had me on everything because I had such bad anxiety, and it was really like the auditory. I was having processing issues, which my son now was diagnosed with Asperger's, which he doesn't have. We just figured it out. He has Ehlers-Danlos and sensory processing issues. So, and he's neurogenic or higher, whatever. We have these weird, crazy brains. So, where was I going with that? Benzos. Okay.
And then
So benzos, I was on because I was like, the anxiety's not going away. They're giving me all this money. And no, it wasn't going to go away because my ears and brain weren't working right. So they're just pumping me full of more stuff while my son's one. I was living down in Florida, running around, drinking pots of coffee. Remember when you came to visit me? So I got off benzos after 20 years. This was 4 years ago. I was on, so I was really nuts. One day I was just like, I don't want to take these anymore. I just knew it wasn't right. Like I get to points in my life where I just know I'm done with something. And I know not everyone can do that, but it's just my dad part of me. I don't know why. I'm like, okay, done. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Maybe it's a moral thing. I'll have to think about. So the benzo thing, I cut them down. I weaned them down. That was hard. I recommend taking a week off work and having your best friend over and trying to, because you're just going to feel weird because that's a real hard, from someone who's taken a lot of psychiatric drugs and really hyper aware of their brain and how it feels and time and space and everything. I would get lots of cozy blankets, take a week off work, get your favorite person and snuggle and watch TV because you're just going to go, it's not anything crazy like opioid withdrawal. You're not going to feel like the physical symptoms as much. It's more mental. You're going to feel like weird. So if you try to go shopping or do anything, your time, space, orientation, everything is going to be really off. You're going to get a lot of anxiety. So I recommend just staying at home until your brain calms out. You might get a little nausea or something, but it's a mental thing.
Yeah, it's promising now. I mean, they're one of my sponsors, like the Amanita mushrooms, like, because they say the Amanita mushrooms, like they can affect like the GABA receptors in your brain. And that's what benzo works off of. Yeah. So like, I use this stuff here. This is like a kava and Amanita spray. You spray a couple sprays underneath your tongue, and this like affects directly the GABA receptors in your brain. Like, and a lot of people are using this. I can't give medical advice. So guys, like,
yeah, I know. I get it.
I'm not giving medical advice for YouTube. I don't want them to take the video down. But all I'm saying is like, people should look into this Amanita mushrooms. And the company I use is Amanitas, and the the code is 16 Skeptics. Yeah, you can use that, and yeah, I'm just shameless plug,
Yeah, no, that's awesome because I see people in the chat saying over here it takes 1 to 2 years just to get your brain back to normal with getting off of Suboxones. And I know just getting off of them, I know I couldn't go to the bathroom right for at least 2 months probably. So I can't imagine what your brain goes through too, I think, it did take years for me to get my real happiness back, and something happened, years later, I was happy, but you know what I mean, to being really happy, I think took quite a few years.
Can I say one more thing?
There's also a guy in the audience. His name's Barefoot Sungazer. He says Ibogaine is a legitimate cure for opiate addiction. It's a total miracle. Studies and research coming out right now. And that you got to go to Mexico to get an Ibogaine treatment. Like, because obviously they don't have it here in America. Because you know why? Because Big Pharma makes too much money off of all of us here in America. So, like, it's the same reason why people probably aren't being arrested for the Epstein files. You know what I mean?
Right.
We live in a whole corrupt society that doesn't give a fuck, and they protect pedophiles and everything else. They want all us addicted to drugs and like ruining our dreams, and they also want to protect the pedophiles. And that's the society we live in.
Somebody else said, be kind to yourself. I saw. This is the process. This is not, you got to be really gentle with yourself. Love on you. Just hug yourself. Love you right where you're at, because God loves you right where you're at. You're a part of that creation. We put ourselves through these things to grow and come out like the phoenix out of the ashes, man. And it only gets better every single day. Somebody else said something about the future farmer, the 11-year-old farmer. Yes, I'm not related to him. He's in the fight on the data centers. He has been standing up in a lot of our county's meetings. He's awesome. Really good. That was a really cute video of him standing up. So check that out. Somebody else, I forget what it was. One more thing. I forgot what it was. I lost it. Somebody else made a comment and I can't find it now. But go ahead.
Yeah, but be kind to yourself. That was the biggest thing. A lot of us have to be alone to like get our nervous systems calm. I never realized that I'm an empath, so I internalize other people's feelings. So every time I was dating someone, I just became them. That's why I love, but I internalized everything so much that I couldn't even be myself anymore. You know what I mean? So like this past couple months, I was by myself for a while. And I think being alone, and the whole thing with regulating your nervous system, like they were saying, be calm to yourself. Like self-care, self-love. I know it's hard when you're going through rough stuff. It's so hard. Like when you're down, gosh,
and when your brain chemistry is all out of whack.
Off, and you're just trying to survive. Basically, that my whole life is surviving somehow.
Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be hard for a lot of people. Is a lot of people have to work full time. I mean, like they, you know,
that was me. That was me.
How do they stop like working or stop doing what they're doing to get off?
And you say I need help because I never did. I was the tough girl who did it all herself. So I was still a mom and I still worked. You know, and my ex-husband went to rehab. I didn't. So like a lot of us have that tough thing where they're just not going to fail. You know, like so. I wish I would have. I don't know. But my stories, it's all for a reason. So I'm not going to say I wish I would have done anything. I wouldn't change my life for a minute. I'm so grateful in all this fucking chaos. Sorry for the F-bomb. I'm so grateful. So your story will inspire others. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Prayers.
Also prayers. She just mentioned that was the one last thing I definitely need to touch on for sure, I think. Faith without works is dead. You got to walk in faith and just, it's one step at a time. That's 1 minute. That's 1 second. That's 1 day. And you got to get through it without the drug. And it's just walking in that faith. And I know one of my loved ones was addicted and this really bad place, family member. And he and another family member and I all said a prayer together. And that prayer, I think, saved his life. He went straight to rehab after that prayer and stayed sober, I think, for a stretch of 4 years after just that prayer. So, and yeah. Yeah.
Just a couple more. We had there was a couple of there was one more super chat. My friend Dan's in the chat. He says depression is a result of past regrets, anxieties, worry about the future. Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, like I mean, I think it goes deeper than that too. You know, but I mean, we'll have to do a part 2 to this. We'll have to do a part 2. I think this kind of like this really went far with a lot of people. A lot of people resonated with this. You know, so
just want to feel normal. There is no normal. You don't ever want to be normal people. You want to be the raw, authentic, beautiful self you are. I think we're trying to fit into a world that wears masks and we don't fit.
The only difference is indifference. You know?
I think there's a lot of people that are on drugs. I see it in their eyes. I can pick people out. We're highly sensitive people and we don't know how to calm our nervous systems. Not everybody, but that's my take. So if that helps anyone, go get some EDMR beats. It's on YouTube. I know it sounds weird, like boom, boom. My kids laugh at me. My mom, why's your weird music on? I promise it will help you. Get out in nature, go to the water, walk your dog. Like you need to calm that nervous system.
Do little things, gentle things. Maybe get a good dinner, you know.
I would drive 8 hours here to see my ex-boyfriend from PA before I moved back. And I always liked chill beats on my Sirius. I didn't know why. The downbeat channel, I would jam, and I'm a rocker. I'm jamming the whole way back to Ohio, just jamming out. And I'd get back and I felt so good when I got here because the certain sound of those beats was calming my vagus nerve. People look it up. Your vagus nerve, if it's overstimulated, your nervous system's heightened. So if you have any vagus nerve issues, that could be an issue too. So music's huge. So be raw, be weird, but just it's not just something like you're not flawed. Like there's a way. Hope for everyone.
And just the guy Barefoot Sungazer said he wanted to be a guest on the show. That's for sure, dude. You can just email me and like we'll set something up. If you want to do it, just email me. It's typicalskeptic1@gmail.com and I'll have you on for sure. Yeah. Like
does he want to come on now?
I think it was. I think he said.
Put him on the
He said,
spot.
"I'd love to be a guest on your show someday and share my story." I think when we have more time, because I don't have enough time today. But I mean, like we could do it. Don't you? You said you have to be somewhere at 5 anyway, right?
Yeah, I gotta
We have to go to dinner.
Yeah, well, I have to leave. I have to be done with this for sure by 5. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll finish now, and then we'll do a part 2. We can even have your friend back on too if you want.
Yeah, and I did drink 4 Monsters today, so they're sugar-free. I don't recommend putting sugar in your body. There's a whole other thing on health. Stop putting crap in your body. This also helps.
I'm guilty. I drink these Starbucks like iced energy drink. These are really good. If you like energy,
Is there sugar in that?
This is really
I don't
good.
do Starbucks. I'm not bougie.
This is
I'm not that you're bougie. I'm messing with you.
This is the Three Amigos.
Three Amigos since we were 12. We met. Yes.
Wow, that's really cool. You guys are so friends.
Whatever you said about the star thing, that's why I can pick it. I can see this in people's eyes. I can see if you have something in your eyes. That's being hyper.
Well, and the story that they're saying is right. You need to keep sharing.
She studies religion, by the way. This is our best friend. She has like a doctorate in religion. So we're like, it's crazy. It's a weird mix we got.
All right, she wants a picture, so I'm gonna take a picture of it.
Are we doing this on this? Oh, we're on the show? Embarrassing.
Dude. That's my friend Patty. Patty
We
is
love
awesome.
Well, I'm overhearing the conversation, and I do just want to step in to say that when you're getting off of, illicit drugs or prescribed medication and walking that journey, it's really important to do it with company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all I got.
You need hearts. You need to connect with people. And sometimes you don't need to connect with people if those people aren't good for you. You got to get honest.
Or reach out to your friends.
You got to get honest about what's right for you and what's wrong for you, and your decisions determine your destiny. Walk in faith.
I never reached out. I'm a loner. I sit in my brain. I'm a deep thinker. So they were always like, they could have helped me, but I would never reach out.
Yeah.
I'd be gone for months at a time. Like I could be alone with myself and be happy. I'm just an introvert.
We would have to hog tie her.
And they tried to get me out and like they would try to get me to come out in like one of my 20s, but with the sensory input issues, it was so much to just live life that I just wanted to sleep when I wasn't working because I did a great job when I was out there. It was so tiring. So like a lot of people are going through stuff you don't know, like just trying to make it, Like, reach out if you have a friend that's like never coming out. There's probably some sensory issues going on, so just make sure they're okay.
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 All right, we good or?
Yeah. Do you want to tell people where they can find you one more time? And thanks, Amanda. This was awesome.
Yeah.
I just started painting. Whoever joyful Jennifer is.
Yeah, painting will balance your hemispheres in your brain. There was a little boy that the cop in one of my documentaries. There's a little boy, and the cop came to his house because his dad was overdosing in the other room, and the little boy was sitting there drawing on the table as his parent was overdosed in the other room. And so I'm like that I guess that balances the hemispheres of your brain. So to get through that trauma in his life, he needed to balance his brain. So we all do,
Now do you get why I've always been creating things?
Yeah, she used to call me. She's got all these paintbrushes the other day. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
I rearranged my furniture.
I'm like, now you're going to be a famous painter. I didn't know. And
I'm very creative. It made me very creative.
So I'm like, dude, you're doing the right thing. That balances your hemispheres of your brain. So important. And now she's singing. A lot of the people in my Opioid Epidemic documentary, a lot of these people, to survive, they started singing. They didn't even know they could sing.
I couldn't sing back in the day because I had a block. And now it's gone, and I belted some crazy stuff out the other day. We're gonna sing karaoke later. We're gonna run in. I'm gonna sing 2 songs and we're leaving. I don't drink anymore. So they're gonna video record me and we're all gonna run out the door. It's gonna be hilarious. Maybe we'll show you guys next time.
God. All right. Well, yeah, you can find me.
I don't know if I'm good.
You can.
We're gonna start a comedy show too, by the way.
Okay. So you can find my project at awakenandunite.com, TV with Purpose, or you can go to tvwithpurpose.com. It goes to the same site. I hope to get this 37-part documentary out there to the world soon and help hope that it will be a program and be able to help millions of people one day. So
awesome.
Much love and thanks.
Do you know what I think? Sorry, we should also put on here. Come back on. Is that video of us saying we were going to be famous in your mom's studio when we were like 10 or 12.
Okay.
I think they'll get a kick.
We're gonna go now.
We're
We
leaving
gotta
now.
put a bit. It's the year of the horse, and we gotta put a bit in her mouth, and then we can.
Dude, I forgot about the fire horse. I have to put duct tape next time I come on here. We're not really gonna put duct tape on. We're gonna make a fake thing so I can't talk. Sometimes I get excited.
She just talks a lot.
My brain works faster than everyone else's. You gotta understand. I don't mean to be this.
That's my best friend Janelle. We love her. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
All right. Have a good night, guys. All right. I'm out.
Thank you so much. Bye.